All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here on this late night. Before we get to this, I just want to make this message very clear to anyone that is watching this on the replay, whenever that may be. If you're here because you searched for Vanessa Lau and you came across this video for more information, you are not going to want to miss a single second of at least the first hour of this show, which I'll be dedicating to that. I have some things I'm going to be discussing here that no other creator that covered this story almost a year ago when it first happened has mentioned. There's a lot of new information. I've done a lot of research, and I'm going to share that with you folks here tonight. I'm going to make it very clear. I'm not here to bash Vanessa or anyone. I'm here to really share what happened and why she actually left YouTube, and to give a little more insight to people that, are wondering, why would somebody leave a seven-figure business just like that? It's one thing for someone to come out and say why they left, and it's another thing, on what actually happened. So stick around for that. Then during the second part of the show, I'm going to be doing some dating stories. But before we get to all of that, let me first of all make sure that everything is rolling smoothly. Let me check out the back end of YouTube. And it looks like the back end of YouTube is rolling well. Let me also make sure that the notification has gone out. It looks like it has. Let me do a sound check. Here tonight. I'm going to make it very clear. I'm not here to bash Vanessa or anyone. I'm here to really share what happened, why she actually left YouTube, and to give a little more insight to people that, are wondering. All right. Looks like everything is rolling smoothly. Everything is in sync. Sound is well. So let's get right to it because there's a lot to talk about here. The topic of this show is the truth on Vanessa Lau and some great dating stories. One more time, the truth on Vanessa Lau and some great dating stories. The first part of the show is going to be me discussing what I feel really happened to Vanessa Lau, who was a really prominent YouTuber in the space up until last year in February of 2023. It's coming up on the 1-year anniversary on when she decided to step away. And I actually didn't even realize she stepped away until a few days ago or so, earlier on this past week, towards the beginning of 2024. The day this is being recorded is Saturday, January 20th, 2024. I didn't find out about this until about 5 days ago, middle of 2024. And that's because I was recommended a video from a creator that was talking about YouTubers that abruptly left the space and what happened. So I did some more research and I watched all these videos regarding people that were talking about the Vanessa Lau situation. And after doing my own research and having been an entrepreneur for the last 15 years, knowing, what it takes to be an entrepreneur compared to what she did, I'm like, none of this really makes any sense. And no one's really explaining this as honestly as they can, or they just don't know what's really going on at the level I do. So I'm going to explain that to you folks here during the first hour of this show. I'm going to show a lot of stuff on the screen here. So let's just go ahead and get right to that. Let's switch on over to the browser screen here. Come on. There it is. Okay, so here's how I'm going to start this off. I'm going to read a letter that Vanessa sent out to her followers. I believe she sent this out by email initially, and then she posted it on her website, vanessalau.co. And ironically, when I went to do some research to find this posting, because there were creators that shared part of this posting, within their videos, and they went through half of it but they decided to not go through the whole thing because it was pretty long. I'm going to go through the whole thing here tonight, regardless of how long it takes, because it's very, very important. But when I went to the link that was supposed to have this on her website was no longer available. And I had to go to the Wayback Machine to find this. So that was something that I just figured out tonight. Vanessa Lau's website is down. And from doing research on the Wayback Machine, it looks like she took her website down approximately about a month after she posted this. As you can see on your screen at the top there, it says February 21st, 2023, 10:36 p.m. So she posted this at 10:36 p.m. Pretty late at night for an entrepreneur to be working, right? It happens. Well, look at me. It's 11:47 p.m. right now on the West Coast on a Saturday night, and I'm working. So I'm not going to get down on her for that. But, she says she's going on a sabbatical, and then she puts out this message at 10:36 p.m. at night. Kind of ironic, right? But anyway, so here it is. Let me go through this, and I'm going to share my thoughts. I also have another article that was written regarding Vanessa Lau, stating some things that have never been mentioned publicly by her in her videos or on any of her Instagram postings or Facebook. Well, one of the Facebook postings kind of mentioned it, but there are some things that she never mentioned that were mentioned in this article. And there are a couple articles, if you do a Google search on Vanessa Lau, that mention things like this, but those are the only places you will ever find this information, which makes me wonder if this information is real or not. And then finally, I have a Facebook posting that Vanessa put out in 2021 that's going to make a whole lot of sense on how she got started. And it's just it's very interesting. You're gonna see another person in that posting. Apparently, people are saying out there in a few of the articles that were written on Vanessa that she's been married and has 3 kids. I question that. As I go through everything, I want you folks to keep up and tell me what you think makes sense or doesn't make sense here. Okay, and I'm gonna be as honest and nice and decent as possible. Again, I'm not here to bash Vanessa or anyone she's worked with or any other creators that have responded to this, but I really want people to respond to this compared to what they've seen in the past and let me know what you think. So, without further ado, let's get to it. And by the way, give me a second here. Let me hang on a second. Okay, yeah, the chat is working. By the way, if you are here live, this is a members-only chat. It is publicly viewable while the show is live, but if you want to chat while I'm here live, you will need to purchase at least a $2.99 channel membership. And if you're going to do that, you might as well purchase the $4.99 membership because that will get you members-only live chats and will also get you members-only live streams that I do occasionally with my girlfriend, Dawn. So let's get back to the browser source and read this here. I'm going on a sabbatical by Vanessa Lau. Below is an email announcing my sabbatical that I sent to my email list on February 22nd, 2023. Okay. As some of you, let me see how this looks on the screen here. Okay, you can see it. As some of you may have already noticed, based on my lack of presence lately on social media, I have made the decision to go on an indefinite sabbatical, aka taking a long extended break from work. Okay, sometimes you got to take a break, but an extended break kind of sounds like you're quitting to me. In addition to making this decision, I have also made several difficult and surprising decisions in the last 3 weeks. Honestly, I doubt that. I think this was just part of what she had to state as part of her exit strategy to not come off like she was trying to sell people a pipe dream, which I feel is what happened. And let me just mention this, folks. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show, okay? There are many people that will try to sell you a pipe dream. I honestly feel Vanessa was one that was trying to sell a pipe dream, right? Do I think it's completely her fault? No. I'll share more about that as we go further through this. But I want to make it very clear. Trying to sell someone a pipe dream, even if you're able to sell them a pipe dream, it is not illegal to sell a pipe dream. Okay? It may be unethical. To me, it's considered at the very least unethical business practice. But if you're going to try to sell ice to an Eskimo and the Eskimo decides to pay you for it, then so be it, right? Does it make it right? No. So the sheer fact that I feel she was selling people a pipe dream and a lot of people bought into it is not illegal. Okay, well, good for her. I don't agree with those types of methods. I would never do that. But let me make it clear. It is not illegal what she did. Okay? But it is very unethical business practice, in my opinion. And many people out here on YouTube and throughout social media, since the digital world has come out, everyone's tried to sell a pipe dream. And many people have made lots of money selling pipe dreams. This story here is no different than anyone else that has tried to sell people a pipe dream and succeeded for a while. But what happens in the end? It all comes crumbling down, right? Let's continue, okay? So again, she goes, in addition to making this decision, I have also made several difficult and surprising decisions in the last 3 weeks. I discontinued my Creator Supercharged Mastermind and offboarded all my high-ticket clients. Okay. So you had a mastermind where people were paying you a lot of money because you put up the facade on the internet like you're making 7 figures. Whether you were making it or not, you led people to believe that, right? So these people bought into your program to spend time with you masterminding, to pick your brain on how to make 7 figures. When the reason why you made 7 figures is because you convinced these people that you were already making money and they bought into your program to just talk with you, right? So all she was doing with this mastermind was basically, sharing, what she learned how to make money. And if you do what I do, which is sell masterminds and all this other stuff to other people, you'll make the same thing, right? Makes sense? It's almost kind of like a pyramid scheme, right? Okay. I scaled down my multi-7-figure business. I downsized my team from 9 members to just 1 and canceled all the masterminds, contracts, and subscriptions I'm a part of. I wonder why. Was it all was it all about to crash? It was all crashing down, right? And she was probably about to get called out for selling people a pipe dream. And she basically ran this thing as long as she could before people were to start exposing her. So she exited at the right time, in my opinion. And you'll see more about that as we go further through this thing here, because there's a lot that she wrote here, and I'm going to dissect it completely, okay, and show other supporting, information on the internet that will prove it, okay? Let me see here. All right. I'm retiring my signature program, the Boss Graham Academy, for good. Why for good? If it was that great, why would you retire it for good? If people were paying you to talk with you and you were providing value and helping them, become better entrepreneurs and all that, why would you want to get rid of that? I stepped down from all my speaking engagements, including the ones that I've had on my vision board since I started this business. Yeah, Vanessa Lau spoke at many prominent YouTube creator events, I believe like VidCon, and she was also on many prominent channels, including one of the most prominent channels in the YouTube space, Think Media, run by Sean Cannell for over 10 years. And Sean Cannell has a 7-figure business. He has a $10 million business. He's got about 9 or 10 people working for him, or he says working with him, which I like that better than saying working for someone. They're working with him, right? They're a team, right? And what I like about Sean Cannell is he's very transparent. He even recently shared his story on how much he screwed up in his younger days, and he would party and he would smoke weed even back in the days before it was legalized in most states in the U.S., right? Sean has been amazingly transparent. Sean has also talked about his wife many times. He's also shared pictures of his wife and his family on his community wall and on his live streams. He is an incredibly transparent person. And Vanessa was a guest on his podcast a few times. So she had made it pretty big. Let's continue here. I sold my $160,000 Porsche 911 and swapped it for a Jeep Wrangler. Here's our goodbye pic. Okay. Now let's go down here. Okay. Look at this picture here. There's a Porsche right there on the right. Okay. And there's the Jeep on the left. That Jeep looks pretty nice and fully loaded. Nice big tires. It looks fully loaded. The fully loaded Jeep like that's going to be probably 50 or 60 grand. It's still a lot of money, right? Now, as you will see in another article I read after this one, that article states that Vanessa Lau has 3 kids, and she's been married to a guy named Leon Larardo, I believe is what is his name? Yeah, let me see here. Let me go to this page right here for a second. I'm going to get back to this in a little bit. Leon Larardo, okay? So apparently, here's a picture with a guy she's been with, Leon Larardo, since 2015. Apparently, the article that I'll get to in a second says they have 3 kids. Why aren't there kids in the picture here? They have a dog there, right? Okay. And why have we never heard of Leon Larardo? How come Leon Larardo, I can't even pronounce his name, how come he was never mentioned in any of her videos, in any of her Instagram postings? I think he was maybe mentioned a few times in some Facebook postings, and I have one I'm going to show you here, but I want you to also see how she referred to him in this Facebook posting I'll show you in a second here, okay? But that's them right there, okay? So she basically saying, here's our goodbye pic. I sold my $160,000 Porsche 911 and swapped it for a Jeep Wrangler. Here's our goodbye pic. Well, Vanessa, who is that in the picture? I know that's Leon Larardo. I've looked into this, right? But who is he in relation to you? And why are you keeping that a secret? If you're going to be a transparent entrepreneur and YouTuber, why did you keep this from people, right? And no other creators that responded to this story when she left last year in February of 2023 or March of 2023, okay, around that time, none of them mentioned this guy. This is very important here, right? You might be thinking, what the F? This B is crazy. No, I think that this was all a part of the plan by somebody named Leon Larardo, who supposedly, I guess, is your boyfriend or husband, but we don't really know. We have to assume based on the information out on the internet, right? But let's do this, okay? Let's stop right there. Let's go over to that Facebook posting, okay, that was written in 2021. Let's switch on over here, okay? Let me switch on over here because I'm actually live on Facebook on this page here. So let's go ahead and blow this up a little bit. And let's move this off to the side here, okay? Let's move this off to the side so people can see it better, okay? So look at this posting here. This was written on February 1st, 2021. This was written at the point where Vanessa was becoming very, very popular on YouTube and starting to make a lot of money right around this time. This is around the time where, well, actually, I started probably following her in 2020. And this was about a year after I started following her. And look, it's really her because you see that check mark up there? Accounts with a verified badge have been authenticated and can be meta-verified subscribers or notable persons or brands. So that's really her. She has the blue check mark there, right? Facebook won't give that to just anyone, right? February 1st, 2021. Happy 30th birthday to @Leon Larardo. So who's Leon Larardo, Vanessa? He cringes whenever I say this, but he's basically my very first mentor in biz. So Leon Lorano is your very first mentor in biz, or is he your boyfriend that basically exploited you or got together with you and figured out how you can both make money together, selling people pipe dreams on the internet and having Vanessa, the cute young lady, be the front of the company? Let's be real here. I'm just keeping it real, right? Before I even saw potential in myself, he saw it first. Of course he did. He was exploiting you, right? A lot of people have criticized me for exploiting my girlfriend, Dawn. No, I don't exploit Dawn. Everyone knows who Dawn is. Her name is Dawn Ledgerwood. Everyone knows her age. They know her story. And I don't hide a damn thing. But no one ever knew about Leon Lorano here. No one ever knew about him. And I think this was done on purpose because it wouldn't have worked to sell the pipe dream otherwise. Whenever he'd see me working past night at my corporate job, or hear me take a call for work on my day off, or work on projects during vacation, he would literally say, imagine if you put all this effort in your own business, you would crush it, right? Yeah, and if he was your manager, and folks, I looked into Leon Lorano. Leon Lorano has been running a marketing company. He's owned a marketing company in Canada before he even met Vanessa. So do you think when he got with her, maybe he really liked her, maybe they were kind of dating or hanging out, or who knows, right? He saw an opportunity for her to be the face of something that he could really market, and they could both make a lot of money together. She couldn't do it with him. Sorry, she couldn't do it without him, and he couldn't do it without her, right? Or he couldn't do it without her, she couldn't do it without him, right? I guess you can call that teamwork, right? I had no idea what he meant then, but I do now. That's bullshit. Of course you knew what he meant. You knew all along. You guys talked this whole thing out. If you're a couple, you talked it all out. And you just played the role. You played the role. You were we used to call that the front man back in the days before women were liberated. But because women are liberated now, we're going to call you the front person or the front woman, right? You were the front man pretty much, Vanessa. Let's be real here, okay? I also remember when he let me borrow his .com secrets book by Russell Brunson after I quit my job, and it opened my eyes to online marketing. I bet. Now listen to this. Look at this here. I'm sorry, I'm getting notifications here. Or when he taught me how to design my first site with a free WordPress plugin to help me save dollars because that was close to shelling out. Because I was that close to shelling out money for a web designer and making an expensive rookie mistake. One more time. Or when he taught me how to design my first site with a free WordPress plugin to help me save money because I was that close to shelling out money for a web designer and making an expensive rookie mistake. So this guy taught her. He didn't teach you that. He did it for you. He created the website for you. He showed you that he can make this site for you. Right? But you're writing this that he showed you because he gets to stay out of the way then. Then no one can trace back to him that he was the mastermind of this whole thing and you were the front man per se, right? So the first thing he taught you how to do was to design a website with a WordPress plugin that was advertising stuff to people, right? Just advertising anything and everything, whether you believe in it or not, right? To this day, he's still the first person I turn to when I feel like my business is in flames, and the first person I celebrate with when my business and team hit our first milestones. Is he your boyfriend or your husband? Because you're not saying that here. And if he is, then why won't you say, hey, Leon Lorano, Leon is the love of my life and my business partner. Just like I say with my girlfriend, Dawn. Dawn is the love of my life, but she's my business partner. So why is she holding this information back? I'll share more about that in a bit. Okay. So say hello and happy birthday to the man that literally helped me start. Without him, I don't think I would ever have stumbled on entrepreneurship as a career path. And look what she says there. Love you at Leon Lorano and can't wait to take care of more pets with you. So I mean, I don't think they have kids. I don't think they have kids. She's saying, love you at Leon Lorano and can't wait to take care of more pets with you. And look at this picture down below. Look at that. The dude is kissing her and her eyes are closed. I mean, couldn't you come up with a better picture than that? She's not even looking at him. It's almost like she's ashamed of this picture. Is this real? I mean, honestly, is this real or is it like a facade? Right? Was this all just one big master plan by Leon Lorano's marketing agency to exploit this woman? Now, here's the funny thing. Look at this here. 129 likes and hearts combined. No comments? Did you disable comments? I can write a comment if I want. Why are there no comments to this? Why are there no comments? Where are the comments? There are no comments here. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know. Give me a second here. Sorry, hold on. All right. Before I get back to her sabbatical thing, let me go and read this article. There are a couple articles that were written by a few websites that claim to be sharing more information, more in-depth information about Vanessa Lau and her personal life, right? Because she's never talked about it online, right? And I looked further into this because there was somebody that made a comment when I first talked about Vanessa a few days back regarding this. And they were saying I was spreading misinformation, that Vanessa is married and has kids and blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'm going to read this for you here and ask you if you think this is true or not. Okay. What is Vanessa Lau's net worth 2023? Bio, age, weight, height, family, and more. Okay. Welcome, curious minds. If you're here to uncover the mystery behind Vanessa Lau's net worth in 2023, you've landed in the right place. Vanessa Lau, the content marketing dynamo, has been making waves in recent years, but just how much is she worth now? Let's explore, okay? So right here, it says Vanessa Lau, female, birth date, April 29, 1994. That, I believe, is her actual birth date, and she's 29 years old. She'll be 30 on April 29th of this year, 2024, okay? Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lau. Whoa, you would think. I would assume that her parents would be Mr. and Mrs. Lau because that's her last name, right? And if she was married, wouldn't she change her last name or at least hyphenate it? There's one thing. Siblings not specified. Okay? No brothers or sisters. Birthplace, Vancouver, British Columbia. Nationality, Canadian. Ethnicity, Asian. Education, University of Toronto. Rotman School of Management at Newark University. So she came into the U.S. and went to school for a little while. Marital status, married. That's questionable. Sexual orientation, not specified. Interesting. Wife, spouse, Leon Lorano. That's questionable. I'd say maybe he's a spouse or a boyfriend. I don't think they're married. Children, 3. No, they don't have kids. We're going to get to that. Dating, not currently dating as she is married. Well, I think she's dating Leon Lorano and living with him, but I don't think they're married. Net worth, 5 million USD. That's questionable. I think she's probably worth maybe her net worth is probably a few $100,000 or $500,000. I don't think she's worth 5 million. Who knows though? Who knows? Maybe between her and Leon Lorano, they're worth 5 million. Who knows? I don't think she's worth 5 million. Okay, net worth. I don't even think Sean Cannell's net worth is 5 million after paying all his employees and expenses and all that. And he's been doing this longer than her, and he's way better and more transparent than her at it, right? Source of wealth, business and social media, video content creations, other businesses, and Boss Graham Academy. Okay? Anyway, we don't need to read the rest there, okay? Vanessa Lau, the renowned Canadian entrepreneur, has achieved significant financial success in the world of content, marketing, and strategy. As of 2023, her estimated net worth stands impressively at $5 million. This substantial net worth reflects her accomplishments and contributions to the industry, making her a notable figure in the field. I would question that. I'm not trying to criticize her. I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm saying that she was trying to sell people a pipe dream, and she wasn't even the mastermind of all this. Vanessa Lau, a comprehensive overview. You see all the pictures here are all glamorized. They're all her looking all sexy and all, right? And she never mentioned her husband per se or boyfriend per se in any of these videos. Is there a reason for that? Was she trying to market to the thirsty beta males, right? Anyway, let's continue, okay? Now let's take a deep dive into into the life, career, and achievements of Vanessa Lau. Early life and education. Born on April 29th, 1994. Okay. In Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, she displayed her entrepreneurial spirit from a young age. Her fascination with business and marketing laid the groundwork for her future success. Well, that's not what that Facebook posting put there. She didn't have a clue on entrepreneurship, and Leon Lorano taught her that after they met, and they met in 2015. You'll see that here in a second. That contradicts itself, right? Who's writing this, right? Was this Leon putting out this information to certain websites, or were these websites making this up? Like, what's really going on here, right? At Hugh McRoberts Secondary School, Vanessa completed an immersion program in French. 2012 marked her secondary school graduation. Okay. So let's see here. 1994, 04. So 2012, she was 18. Secondary school. I mean, is that high school? Did she get a GED, not go to high school? I don't know how it works in Canada. But in 2012, she was 18 years old. She completed an immersion program in French. 2012 marked her secondary school graduation. Maybe that's high school. I would have to assume at 18, that's high school. After completing her studies in marketing and brand management at the Sauder School of Business at the University of British Columbia, she obtained her degree, and she was elected president of the Commerce Undergraduate Society in 2015. Okay, so 94, 04, 14, that's at 21 years old, she obtained her degree, right? So she was in college for what, 2.5, 3 years? That's possible. Maybe she was taking a lot of units all at once and finished. Typically, people will do it in 4 years. Some will do it in 3.5. And was honored as the most distinguished female graduate in 2016. Okay, so 2016, that would have made her, what, 22, 4 years after 18, going straight to college from high school. That is a possibility. So this woman was basically taking classes, taking the maximum amount of units, and she was already working more than the average person would. She was taking more units than most people do. And so I guess she was used to, always doing something like schoolwork, working all day with her schooling. And then when she started working in the corporate world, she was working all these hours. And then when she started to be an entrepreneur, she kept on working all these hours. Let's continue. Career trajectory. Okay. Vanessa's career journey began with an internship at Coca-Cola in 2014. Okay. So let's see. So that would be at age 20 while she was in school. She had an internship. Okay, possible. That's possibility. Where she worked in account management. At age 20, she was working in account management. Okay. After a brief 4-month stint, she transitioned to L'Oreal, focusing on IT cosmetics. Oh, that's where all the glamour stuff came from. Okay. Over time, she climbed the corporate ladder eventually becoming a brand manager. However, her true calling emerged in the digital space, leading her to embark on a career as an internet celebrity in 2018. Okay. So 2018, she was 24 years old. Yeah, 24 years old. Okay. Rise to digital stardom. Okay. Vanessa initiated her YouTube channel in 2014, but it wasn't until 2016, okay, that she uploaded her first video. Her 2018 video, which offered techniques for personal growth and success, marked a turning point. So in 2018, give me a second here, folks. Sorry about that. Give me just 1 second. My apologies. Just got to check something real quick. Okay. Come on. Hold on a second. Okay. All is good. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so in 2018, she was 24 years old. And that was the turning point. And I believe that was the point where she had just met Leon Lorano. Okay, so remember that. I believe that was the point, or a little bit before that. Her channel has since amassed over 22 million views. That's a lot of ad revenue. And 440,000 followers. Currently to this day, she has, I believe, close to 700,000 right now, cementing her status as a prominent content creator. Okay, online presence and entrepreneurship. In addition to her flourishing YouTube channel, Vanessa boasts a substantial following on Instagram, where she shares valuable tips on growing one's Instagram presence. What, looking all cute and pretty? Attracting the beta male market? Right? Trying to teach women that aren't as pretty as her how to be pretty? Okay. She is the founder of the Boss Graham Academy, an online platform where she imparts knowledge on leveraging social media to enhance sales and personal brands. So she makes money teaching other people how to make money. Okay? But how did she make her money initially to get to this status? Right? So all she's basically doing is selling you a pipe dream, saying that, hey, if you do this, like I'm doing it on Instagram, then you will have the same amount of following. You'll make the same amount of money. All you have to do is replicate what I do, and you will make money, right? So in essence, she's teaching these people, she's selling these people a pipe dream, and she's saying, in other words, if you, in turn, sell people the same pipe dream on your end, then you'll make the same money I make, right? Does that make sense? I'm just keeping it real. Okay. Recognitions and impact. Vanessa's work has earned recognition from esteemed publications such as the Wall Street Journal and Forbes. Well, they're all looking for a story, right? Solidifying her status as a successful entrepreneur. Despite her remarkable success, Vanessa remains grounded, emphasizing her goal of earning a livelihood and assisting small businesses in reaching their objectives. I think Vanessa was trying to remain grounded and was trying to be humble. And I think she was basically doing something she really didn't want to do or enjoy doing. But that's what her boyfriend that owns a marketing company probably told her to do or set her up to do. Right? She was the front person, the front man per se. Right? And her boyfriend was probably saying, hey, look, I'll fund this, but I got to get a return. And, we'll split the return. And I think you and I can make a lot of money doing this as long as you do it exactly as I say. right? So in essence, I think it was him that was the puppet, the mastermind of this whole thing. And that's probably one of the main reasons why I think she stopped doing it, because, she just didn't feel right doing it anymore. But let's continue here. You'll see more in a bit. Okay, so Vanessa remains grounded, emphasizing her goal of earning a livelihood and assisting small businesses in reaching their objectives. Now, here we go, personal life, okay? We're at 40 minutes. We're right on track here. Thank you to the 10 people that are here right now. Much love. Personal life. In her personal life, Vanessa has been in a relationship with online entrepreneur Leon Lorano since 2015. Okay. In 2015, she was born in 94, 04, 14. She was 21 years old. So she was probably 20 or maybe just turned 21 when they met. Okay. Now she's 29. 8 years ago is when she met this guy. Now, you have an 8-year gap, right, from when they met to now. A 7-year gap between the time that she stopped doing this last year to where they met. So let's keep a 7-year gap in mind. They reside together in a spacious 5,700 square foot house. That's a pretty big ass house. And, even in Canada, there are some nice areas. I bet you that house is at least $1 million house. Okay. And are devoted parents to 3 children. Bullshit. Let's talk about that. Devoted parents to 3 children. First of all, they met and they've been dating since 2015, right? Vanessa was 21. Before that, or during that time, she was finishing school. 18, 19, 20, 21. She had just finished school. Okay. So there's no way Vanessa was pregnant before this time. Now, let's take 2015 as a starting point. Let's say these two started dating January 1st, 2015, right? And let's say 3 months later, Vanessa was pregnant, right? 9 months later, at the beginning of 2016, they have kid number 1. I'm trying to put this logically together here, okay? 9 months later in 2016, they have kid number 1, okay? Then typically, it's not safe for women to get pregnant for at least 3 to 6 months afterwards. Let's give a 6-month gap. Middle of 2016, Vanessa's pregnant again. Another 9 months. Let's go all the way to 2017, almost the middle of 2017. She has kid number 2. Okay? Beginning of 2018, she gets pregnant again. And let's say at the end of, towards the end of 2019, she delivers kid number 3. If she popped them out, boom, 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 one after the other, it is a possibility. Highly unlikely. I'm not buying it. Okay? So, in essence, between 2015 and 2020, they had 3 kids. And, she had just graduated school and she was working a job, getting promoted and doing all that. And then starting this business and putting in all this time. And come on, I am not buying this. This is a bunch of horse shit. Okay. Now, I don't think they wrote this. Okay. I think whoever put this out there, I don't know where they got this information, but hey, who knows? She may have 3 kids, but if she has 3 kids, then she did a damn good job, not only hiding her man, but her kids. And why would someone not want to share with the world that they've got 3 kids and a great husband? And that's part of what encourages me to be an even better entrepreneur, right? Lack of transparency, or this is just BS, or both, right? So just think about that. That does not make any sense at all. It is not impossible, but it is extremely unlikely based on all the other events that happen, right? And here's the thing. Vanessa was doing videos on YouTube. since what, 2018? And from what I remember, going back watching all those videos, I never once saw her pregnant. I never once saw her have a puffy face or bigger arms or bigger legs. She never appeared pregnant. So it doesn't make any sense to me. It does not make any sense to me at all. No one's talked about this but me. Vanessa's journey is a testament to her unwavering determination, strategic thinking, and dedication to helping others achieve their goals. Well, that's what was written. That's how she came off based on what Leon Lorano, who's owned the marketing company before he even met Vanessa, that's how he instructed her to run the business. She was the front person, the front man. She was the cute young woman that was targeting young and inexperienced other Gen Zers like themselves. They're both, actually, I think, let's see, is Leon Lorano, I think he's also a Gen Zer. I think he's 32 right now. No, he's millennial, I believe. I think she is a Gen Zer and he's the tail end of millennial, right? This is all hogwash. This was all the plan of Leon Lorano. And I'm not saying that he was intentionally trying to exploit Vanessa. I'm thinking they both were in this together. And I'm thinking that the reason why Vanessa decided to pull away is because the jig was about to be exposed and they didn't want to get called out. Her website no longer exists, right? She all of a sudden drops everything out of the blue. When people typically, withdraw from something, they do it slowly. Like they'll start to let their audience know, hey, I'm going to be retiring soon. If you want to use my services, if you want any final work, please reach out to me. I'm going to be announcing the day I'm shutting things down soon. I'm going to give a 3 to 6 month warning. There was nothing like that. This was abruptly stopped. When things are abruptly stopped, it's typically because they were about to be exposed. And it would have come off much, damage control would have been much worse. Now, I don't have any proof, but that's what my intuition and instinct is telling me. That's my gut instinct. That's my gut instinct. This is my opinion. Okay. About Vanessa Lau news in 2023. As of September 2023, there is no news regarding Vanessa Lau. She went dark after she made the posting I'm going to go back to. Let's go back to this and finish this up before I take my first break and come back and do the dating stories, which will be much more fun. Tam, hey Eli, I hope you're well. How you doing? Let me make sure that the sound is still coming through okay, Tam. How are you? Great to see you here. Hope all is well. The day I'm shutting things down soon. I'm going to give a 3 to 6 month warning. There was nothing like that. This was abruptly stopped. When things... All is good. At work on my last half hour of a double shift of 13 hours, but I'll be listening while finishing work. Wonderful. You're going to want to go back and check out the replay if you missed this because it's a very interesting story on Vanessa Lau. I'm sure you've heard of her. She was pretty prominent out here on YouTube and all of a sudden left the space. The beginning of last year in 2023. And I'm sharing the aspects that no other creators that talked about this story once she left, that they didn't share. All right. So back to the letter she wrote to her fans when she was leaving. You might be thinking, what the fuck? This bee is crazy. I want to explain. But first, I want to share a story about my good old corporate days. This sounds so fabricated. Like, I don't think she wrote this. I think like Leon Lorano, her supposed boyfriend or husband, I think it's her boyfriend or friend or whatever, friends with benefits or whatever. I think someone at his marketing company wrote it. When I first quit my corporate job back in 2018, nobody in my circle was shocked by the decision, but everyone was shocked by the timing. Okay. It feels so random. You just got your promotion and now you're quitting. Well, when you have a rich boyfriend that's running a marketing company that's teaching people how to sell pipe dreams and now wants to make you the next star of his next pipe dream he's selling. And again, pipe dreams are not illegal to sell, but they're unethical in my opinion. Because in essence, what you're doing is you're teaching people, you're making people believe, or you're leading people to believe that you made all this money through internet marketing, but what are you actually marketing? You're marketing a pipe dream, saying that if you come to my mastermind and listen to what I say, you're going to basically make this money if you do the same things I'm doing. So in essence, you're teaching people to sell the same pipe dream you're selling, right? Like a pyramid scheme, like I was mentioning, right? Right? You're such an all-star. I really thought you would have climbed your way to the top. You were so close. Well, Vanessa would not have given up that prominent career. She would not have stepped down and worked for Starbucks for a little while. And I don't even know if I can believe she worked for Starbucks. That could have been a fabricated story, right? That could have been all a part of the scheme, right? Now, again, maybe it's true, but a lot of the stuff doesn't make any sense. You tell me, okay? If I'm being honest, choosing to go on the sabbatical feels quite similar. It feels like I'm quitting right when things are finally happening. Well, yeah, nobody quits right when things are about to really take off. They quit when they're about to get exposed. They quit when they're about to get found out that the pipe dream isn't working. I think she was selling these programs for years and people were starting to get upset that they weren't getting the results she was getting. And a pipe dream is basically somebody selling you something that they know is not going to get them the return. And the way that the person selling the pipe dream, is making their money is by selling them the mastermind, to talk about how to make money, right? In essence, you're paying Vanessa thousands of dollars probably to have a conversation with her. Just because of the fact that she appears to be this very successful woman based on her presence on YouTube and Instagram. I'm finally getting the big dog speaking engagements. The big dog speaking engagements sounds pretty cocky. I don't think she would write that. She doesn't seem like the kind of woman that would write, I'm finally getting the big dog speaking engagements, right? Holy shit. I'm finally making $500K months. Bullshit. I don't think you ever made $500,000 in a month. That was a facade to get people to tune in. That's clickbait. That's lying. I'll tell you this. If someone's going to come out and say, I made $500K in a month, I want to see receipts on that. I want to see proof that you did that. I'm so close to 1 million YouTube subscribers. I'm finally growing and scaling. I'm finally a somebody. Come on. Are you buying all this hogwash? Who's buying all this hogwash? Seriously, right? Unbelievable, right? And yet, at the height of accomplishing these things, I found myself losing total control of my life and mental well-being. I don't think so. When I was your age, I had a lot more energy than I have now. I'm 50 years old, Vanessa Lau, and I still have a shit ton of energy, right? But I had even more energy back then. There's no way if I was in this position that you're in back then, I would stop. But I would never try to sell somebody a pipe dream like you did to get to where you got to. And the reason why you're putting this out there is because people were about to expose, or they were starting to expose your pipe dream, and you ceased operations before it blew up out of proportion, right? And you made enough money to probably, reinvest things and, live happily ever after, right? Like she mentioned earlier, why would she sell her $160,000 Porsche, right? Why would she even mention that? Like the thing I don't like about people that are coaches and try to teach people how to make money is they show off the things that they supposedly have. I don't even know if I can believe she ever owned that. Maybe that was just a facade. Who knows? I found myself squeezing my life and relationships around the demands of my business. Yeah, well, of course. But your boyfriend is the one that put you up this. Leon Lorano, whoever he is to you, I'm assuming he's your boyfriend. I don't think you're married to him because you would have at least hyphenated your name, right? You would have probably mentioned something if you had kids. There's no way if she had 3 kids, she'd be able to work at this level and raise those kids. There's no way. This does not make any sense to me, okay? Instead of building a business around the life that I ultimately want to live, she basically found herself squeezing her life and relationships around the demands of her business. She enjoyed the spotlight. A young woman like that would enjoy the spotlight. She was enjoying the spotlight. She left because she was about to be called out. She was about to be exposed. And I think Leon Lorano pulled the plug and basically just had her write this. And then basically people just ate it up and let it go. And some creators talked about it on YouTube, but they never, ever talked about Leon or any of this like I'm talking about. I'm sharing the truth here. This is the absolute truth, folks. I'm telling you that. At the same time, a part of me also feels like I'm quitting too soon. Of course, because you were enjoying the spotlight, but you were basically selling people a pipe dream. You weren't, how do I say this the right way? Again, Vanessa was not doing anything illegal, but she was deceiving people, leading them to believe that if they bought her courses, if they bought her masterminds and personal time with her, that they would make the same money that she makes just for buying her courses or, talking with her. But she had no experience. She had no experience doing this. She was fed this information from her boyfriend's marketing agency. This was a marketing ploy, right? Right? You can almost kind of look at it like a Ponzi scheme, but look, they did nothing illegal here. What they did was deceive people, okay? And there's a difference between stealing and deceiving, right? That's why you got to be very careful with who you invest into in this modern world. All right, 16 people in the box right now. Wow, at 12:39 a.m. Pacific time, 3:39 a.m. Eastern time. Let's see. But here's what I learned from reading the book Quit by Annie Duke, where she says, quitting on time will usually feel like quitting too early. Quitting on time will usually feel like quitting too early. Well, quitting on time typically is quitting on time. People will quit when they've had enough, when they don't want to do what they want to do anymore. They've lost the passion for it. They're not making enough money. It's not working for them. One of those reasons, right? But it never feels like quitting too early. You're only going to quit early when you're about to be called out on your scheme, right? You're about to be called out, so that's why you quit early. If you quit on time, it's not going to seem like anything particularly dire is happening at that particular moment. Well, I'll tell you, Vanessa, you got lucky that no other creators, exposed this at the level I have. No other creators cared enough or were smart enough, no disrespect, to have the business experience I've had and seen so many scams and stuff like I have to figure this out. Now, I'm not saying you scam people, but you certainly deceive people. You certainly were selling pipe dreams. And there are many people out here that give good coaches like me a bad name by selling pipe dreams. I've never sold a pipe dream, ever, ever. I'm very honest and transparent with what I do. And it's people like this that make me look bad, right? That's why I'm talking about it. Okay? Let's see. That's because quitting is being able to glimpse at the range of ways the future might play out and see that the likelihood that things will turn out poorly is too high to make it worth your while to continue. That's the first honest aspect I've heard you mention this entire message. Let's read that one more time and dissect it. That's because quitting is being able to glimpse at the range of ways the future might play out. The future was about to expose you. You were about to get exposed for selling a pipe dream. You saw that. And then you say, and see that the likelihood that things will turn out poorly. Of course, when you're selling people a pipe dream, it's always going to end up poorly, very poorly. The likelihood things will turn out poorly is too high to make it worth your while to continue. Right. You got out before you got exposed. Period. End of story. Let's continue. In my case, I've come to realize I've been building a bigger and better hamster wheel where deep down I, one, know won't have an end. No, it'll end, but it won't end well. It'll end with people asking for refunds, probably suing you, and they probably won't win because you probably had disclaimers and, you said, hey, no refunds. This is what you're getting, right? But at the very least, what would happen is you would ruin your reputation and you would never be able to be trusted again on the internet. Bottom line. So deep down, I know won't have an end, and no, I won't enjoy running. Well, of course you did not enjoy doing this because your boyfriend put you up to this. You and your boyfriend sat down. He's the one that encouraged you based on that Facebook posting in 2021. He's the one that encouraged you. Okay, this was in February. What was this? Let's go back. February 1st of 2021, right? And just 2 years later, in February of 2023, now you're all of a sudden out of business, where here you're basically thanking him for everything. You don't even mention he's your boyfriend or husband, but you say, love you at Leon Lorano, and here's a picture of him kissing you. You're not even looking at him in the eye. You're not even kissing him on the lips. He's kissing you on the cheek. I mean, this is pathetic. This is pathetic, right? Is this real? Is this a ploy? Are these two just friends? I mean, I don't know. I think this was a complete business transaction. You never know. You never know nowadays, folks. What you see on YouTube or other social media platforms, a lot of it is fake. What you see here with me is 100% real. 100% real. Anyway, let's go back. In other words, I've created this machine that I don't even like, and I'm realizing it's a machine I no longer want to run. You never liked it in the first place. You did it because your boyfriend or friend or guy, Leon Lorano, owned a marketing company. I think he still owns it. And he basically found a way where he could use you as a front person, a cute woman, to target Gen Zers around your age that were, looking to get into a good career or become young entrepreneurs. And you basically got these people to buy into your story. And this story is all fabricated. It's all phony. It was all created for show. Period. And a story. I want to know whether you're here live or on the replay. I want to know, what do you think about this? Okay. Is this a facade? Was this all phony? Was part of it real? Was part of it fake? Was it all fake? Was it all real? What do you think? Excuse me. Give me a second here. All right. Let's continue here. This isn't to say that I'm leaving entrepreneurship. This is to say I'm taking a break to redefine what entrepreneurship looks like for me. So I thought you came off like you knew what it looked like when you were doing what you were doing. You came off like you knew what you were doing. Now, when I first came across her videos, I wasn't buying it. Because anytime there's a lot of jump cuts in the video and fancy editing, you know it's scripted and you know it's cut to make sound better than it actually is. That's why I do all of my shows live. And even when I do pre-recorded videos, there's minimal editing, if any at all, because I want you folks to know I'm raw and real and honest and genuine, right? I mean, isn't that why I started making videos on YouTube in the first place? Isn't that why I left my corporate job? To work less, earn more, and have control over where I want to spend my time? You were doing that. You were in full control of what you were doing. You took on more people because you got more clients, and you were making a lot of money. And there's no way anyone at your age would have run out of energy and would have given up on a business that keeps on bringing millions of dollars a year for just talking to people. You gave it up because you were about to get called out. You gave it up because you were about to be exposed for selling people a pipe dream. Everything that you were selling was not getting people any results, and now people were starting to, wonder what's going on. And you started having to explain things to people. You probably started having to refund some money. You probably started having to give people freebies. And it was just becoming more discouraging. You were seeing the writing on the wall. And that's why you got out. And yet here I am, falling into the same patterns as I did in my corporate job. See, she's trying to make you feel sympathetic for her. I've got no sympathy for her at all. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she knows exactly what she's doing now. And it's Leon Lorano that's running this show still, right? This was all part of the plan, right? And yet here I am, falling into the same patterns as I did in my corporate job, constantly striving for more at the expense of myself, chasing things I think I want, getting them, and then left feeling dissatisfied, burnt out, and again chasing yet another thing. This woman is 29 years old. She was 28 years old when she stopped doing this. She was doing it for just 2 or 3 years at the level that she was doing it, and she's burnt out. You got to be freaking kidding me. I've been working my ass, since I was 15 and a half. And I'm 50 years old. And I'm still going strong. You can't sit here and tell me that you burnt out. That's BS. That's BS. You're about to be called out for selling a pipe dream. You didn't burn out. That's BS. Don't get me wrong, though. I love what I get to do. I'm grateful for this career. I love making videos. I love writing. I love creating. I love it, especially when the things I create help people. Yeah, but everything you did didn't help a thing besides your pocketbook. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just stating the facts. If you can't help people get results, if the information you provide on YouTube or that you're selling doesn't get people results or some kind of return, it's not going to work. I've given away a lot of information for free on YouTube that has helped a lot of people save money in some capacity, whether it's the groceries they buy. I've helped them better understand relationships. I've helped people get value. And I provide most of my stuff for free, right? You were charging people a ton of money and had no value. The value was fake perceived value that you were making 7 figures right out of the gate at such a young age, which I don't even know if I'm buying now. I don't know. Oh, but lately I feel like, and in bold, I'm doing less of the things I love. And when I do them, it is no longer sparking the same joy it did before. Well, once you make your first million, then the excitement's gone, right? And, even if she made $5 million, she could take that money, reinvest it, and live happily ever after for the rest of her life. Never has to work again, right? So you come in and you sell people a pipe dream for 2 to 3 years. You make all this money, and then you withdraw right before you're about to get exposed. I hate to say it, I've seen many people use this formula on YouTube, and it really, really, really pisses me off every time I see it happen because it's taking advantage of innocent people. It's not illegal, but it's definitely unethical. Definitely unethical. And it's definitely deceiving people. It's deception. And it might as well be illegal, but it's not, unfortunately. And that's why people continue to exploit it. Okay, we are at 1 hour and 9 minutes. I got to get through this because I really got to take a break soon. But lately, I feel like I'm doing less of the things I love, and when I do them, it is no longer sparking the same joy it did before. Number 2, I'm doing more of the things I don't love, and number 3, I'm saying yes to things I don't even want to do. Well, yeah, it's because your buddy or boyfriend or husband or whatever he is, Leon Lorano, he's the one that said, if you want to make money, in order to market you to make the money we're making, to keep making it, you got to keep doing these things. And I know you don't want to do them, right? So maybe you got tired of Leon telling you what to do, right? Maybe you're no longer with Leon. Maybe the whole thing was a facade to exit that way. Maybe it was a ploy and you two are living happily ever after taking all this money. Who knows? But none of this makes any sense to me. None. Okay? And for the sake of keeping this machine running, pleasing people because I want to be liked, and never wanting to disappoint others because I feel so responsible for everything. Well, you are responsible for everything, but you've run away. You've run away, which makes you irresponsible, right? You've run away before anyone can hold you accountable. Kind of sounds like a typical millennial and Gen Z thing. You folks don't know responsibility. You don't. You've never learned responsibility. And you write this letter here, and then you're gone. Your website's gone. You haven't posted anything on social media. Your YouTube channel's still up and monetized. Why? Because you're still making ad revenue off your past videos. Because people are going to still click on them. You're going to make money. You're still making money off of that, right? So you're not really totally gone. You're just out of the spotlight because you don't want to get called out on selling people a pipe dream that never made them a penny, right? In the past, to solve this problem, I would keep making pivots in my business, whether externally or internally. However, these pivots often felt rushed and don't always feel 100% aligned due to the constraints I've built in the business: employees, clients, projects, pre-committed events, large expenses, etc. Which is why I want to take a step back. It's a lot of work. Your boyfriend or friend, Leon Lorano, was setting this all up. He was funding the whole thing out of the money he invested in you. And basically, it probably started to also cut into your part of the profits, right? That's what happened. I mean, come on. You can sit here and write this to the general masses that have no clue how business works, right? Or how pipe dreams work, or will buy into anything, right? Because they look at you as this cute, innocent young woman, but you know exactly what you're doing. You and Leon both know exactly what you're doing. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're probably sitting in their $1 million, 5,700 square foot home, laughing at it, right? Which is why I want to take a step back, a big step back. But then I often taken small breaks here and there to recover. At the same time, I've never wanted to take too much time off because I would always have a large team on standby, big expenses that I need to cover, and thousands of clients and subscribers that I felt I needed to take care of. Yes, the responsible thing. Take care of them how? Keep charging them a lot of money every month on a pipe dream that's never going to make them any money? The reason why you're making money is you're selling them, time to talk with you, and they're thinking that by talking with you, they're going to make the same money that you're claiming to make. But you're basically making money off of selling them the pipe dream, right? And then probably teaching them to sell or resell the same pipe dream you're selling to other people. Come on. But this time, I want to approach taking a break differently. Okay. Sure. Which is why I've dissolved most of this machine so that I can take this break without feeling obligated to come back, and to only come back when I truly feel ready. You're going to take a long break, probably for 5 years or 10 years, until everyone forgets about this, and then you're going to come back with something else. And no one will remember you, right? No one will remember the same scheme, right? That's what's happening here. I'd like for anyone to comment here and let me know otherwise. 17 people in the box. I feel like I owe it to myself and my body to take an indefinite sabbatical. Sabbatical. Like, where'd you come up with that word? That's a biblical term, a sabbatical. To just relax, learn what it means to truly be present and content with what I have. Pursue my curiosities, without constraints. You have no constraints as an entrepreneur. You were self-employed, supposedly, unless your supposed boyfriend, was funding this whole thing and you were on a contract with him. Were you really an entrepreneur, or were you a 1099 contractor for Leon Lorano? I'm just wondering here, right? Why did you not talk about him? Why did you not talk about your man if he's your husband? Why didn't you talk about him if you have kids? Why don't you talk about them? Because I don't think any of that exists. I think Leon is just playing the role. You both just played the role. And I think you both successfully deceived a lot of people to make money. And I think, Vanessa, you're feeling guilty about that. I think you're feeling guilty about what Leon made you do to make this money. That's the truth of the matter. Women feel guilt for this stuff. Men, a lot of men don't. A lot of men can rip people off and not give a shit. But women, look, women can rip you off initially, and at some point it'll hit their emotions and their better judgment, and they can't move on until they clear their conscience. And that's what you're going through, Vanessa. That's the truth of the matter. No one else has called it out. I'm going to be the one that does. Okay? So I feel like I owe it to myself and my body to take an indefinite sabbatical to just relax, learn what it means to truly be present and content with what I have, pursue my curiosities without constraints, and most importantly, explore what it would look and feel like to simply just be. You already know. See, this is BS. Don't sit here and BS us. Like my mother used to tell me, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Come on. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. When I return, I would love to share my findings with you, and to be honest, TBH, right? Millennial and Gen Z acronym, TBH. To be honest, I'm fighting every single bone in my body to write an essay. If you feel like writing a damn essay, write an essay. But until then, it is something I look forward to discovering for myself first. This sounds so fabricated. This is the most garbage I've ever seen anyone write. And this was not even written by her. This was written by Leon Lorano's, probably his agency. So before I wrap up this goodbye for now announcement post, I want to share 2 questions that helped me make this decision to go on this sabbatical. Oh, you want to justify it now, right? You feel like you owe us something, right? First question. If you found out you only had 3 years to live, what would you do differently in your life? This is a waste of my time. When I answered this question, it led me to want to make the exact decisions I've made in the last 3 weeks. I would simplify. I would take a break. I would spend more time with my mom and dad. I would say no to everything that didn't feel like a heck yes. I would stop caring about what everyone else thinks. I respect you for that, because I really don't care about what anyone thinks, right? But when you're selling people a pipe dream, and it's because your boyfriend put you up to this, okay, and now you're feeling guilty, and you're feeling the pressure coming on of people coming out and exposing you, and now you leave. See, now you're trying to find every excuse not only to cover for yourself, but to cover for Leon. Come on. Second question, if those are the decisions you would make, if you found out you only have 3 years to live, why wouldn't you do it now? Why would you wait until you only had 3 years to live? So are you trying to tell us something here, Vanessa? Are you telling us that maybe you have cancer and you have 3 years to live? Could that be it? If that's the case, why wouldn't you tell us? Because we could certainly have empathy and sympathy. But if that's the case and you're not telling us, then you're leading us to believe there's something bigger, regarding all this. And so here we are. No matter your situation, whether your desire is to take a step back and scale down like me, or whether it is to finally step on the gas pedal and go all in on something, my wish for you is to have the courage to do what your heart truly desires. That's what I've been saying, right? But the difference with me is I actually mean it. But more importantly, to also have that same courage to change course anytime you change your mind on what you want. So here's to me taking the same leap of faith I took back in 2018 when I quit my corporate job. And here's to you for getting to the bottom of this post. I hope that you find a lesson in me sharing my decision, and I wish you a beautiful, healthy, and purposeful 2023. Goodbye for now, and with immense gratitude always, Vanessa. P.S. Please note that I won't be actively managing any of my inboxes during this time. Of course not, because people will be blowing you up, wondering what the hell is going on. While I may not respond, please know your words of encouragement and support are wholeheartedly received. Thank you for respecting this sudden decision and giving me the space I need to recalibrate. Love y'all. Also, to all the team members who have played a huge role in this growth, thank you for everything we've accomplished and for all the hard work that often goes unnoticed by the masses. You know who you are. If any one of Vanessa's former staff that she let go comes across my video and is ready to talk about what truly happened, I want you to reach out to me, Coach Eli at coacheli@melas.com. I would love to do a live interview or pre-recorded interview, and I would love to hear your side of the story because it's stuff like this that really bugs me. It really affects what I do for a living because I'm truly here to help people. I don't sell pipe dreams. But because I'm a coach, if other coaches, like Vanessa in this case, sell people a pipe dream, I get categorized into the same category when I don't deserve that. So this is why I'm talking about this. This is why I call people out like this as respectfully and professionally as possible. It's because it really affects people that are truly here to help people for the right reasons, not just try to sell them a pipe dream to make money any way possible. So that is that. All right. So let's go over to back to full screen, and I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to go over 3 quick dating stories. It'll probably take another hour. But wow, the Vanessa thing took an hour and 21 minutes to get through. Wow. All right. Let me cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. And then I'm going to take a quick 5, 6, 7 minute break or so and come back to share some interesting dating stories. If you came in here to hear the Vanessa Lau situation, that story, stick around and learn more about me and learn about how I help people in the dating world. I go over Reddit postings. I address my chat on my live streams. I do live streams with my girlfriend, Dawn, and we're here to truly inspire and motivate people to become the best versions of themselves they can be. Okay? The only thing that Dawn and I sell is if you need a little more hand-holding, we sell very reasonably priced coaching. It's like $49 for half an hour and $79 for 1 hour, right? And I do email coaching, but you don't even have to buy that. All you have to do is come here and participate in the live streams. And if you want to support us, you can become a channel member or send a super chat or super sticker or super thanks on the live stream replays or pre-recorded videos, or send us a Cash App or PayPal after you gain value. We're more like a try before you buy, right? It doesn't get any more honest than that. So with that being said, let me continue queuing up this music here. And I think I'm going to enter the show with one of my favorite songs. All right. All right. Music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for, I'd probably say maybe a 7 or 8 or 9 minute break. I'm going to take a little longer of a break. I'm going to go check in on my girlfriend, Dawn, and checking on the dogs. It's 1:05 a.m. in the morning here, you know, at the time I'm doing this live. So I think they're still up. So stick around. We'll be right We're back, and I'm about to play my most favorite song in the YouTube audio library, Ethan Mixel and Double Helix. Hit it, Ethan, hit it! Yeah! I used to play this song on a former show on a former channel called Coach Eli Live, and it used to fire me up, so I want you all to get fired up. I want you all to get that energy up. I want you all to get that energy up. Energy up, energy up, energy up, energy up, energy up, energy up! Feel it! Yeah! Woo! I'm 50 years old and I'm proud. I'm really proud. And I don't care what anyone thinks, so I love it. I love this. I love it. Get that energy up. Energy up. Energy up. Now it's time to settle down, coach. Settle down, coach. You have a show to run. Settle down. Settle down. Lower the music. Lower it now. 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 All right. Whew. My God. All right. Let's do it. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Live here on YouTube. Live on Coach Eli 2. Authentic live streams. The most positive place on the internet. We keep it positive here, but at the same time, we also keep it raw and real because we are genuine and authentic, and we will never, ever, ever try to sell you a pipe dream. You can always count on that. But yeah, what a great show it's been so far. If you missed the first part of the show, you've got to go back and check out the replay because I was talking about entrepreneur Vanessa Lau, who abruptly left YouTube last year, almost a year ago in February of 2023. I shared the real truth unlike any other creator shared when they did their reaction videos almost a year ago, so don't miss that. And now I'm going to be talking about some dating stuff, so stick around for that. If you came here for the Vanessa stuff, please stick around and learn a little bit more about what I do and what the difference is when someone is not trying to sell you a pipe dream, someone that's truly trying to help you accomplish everything your heart desires. All right, here we go. Yeah. All right. Let me do a sound check real quick. I want to make sure that everything's rolling well on the way back from the break. Here we go. But yeah, what a great show it's been so far. If you missed the first... All right. We do have a 1 minute delay between what I say and what goes out. I have that set here on the in-studio streams in case I bring some guests on and I need to dump the delay to protect the channel. Smart thing to do. But anyway, all right, so let's go ahead and get to the second part of the show here. It's going to take about an hour to get through this. We're going to be sharing some great dating stories here. I typically will go on to Reddit that I've been a paid member of for about 5 years now. I love supporting Reddit, and they have some of the greatest stories that I love to respond to and put my own spin on. And so let's just go ahead and get back over to the browser screen. And this first story is from one of my favorite Reddit sites, the Purple Pill Debate site. And the title of the original poster is, "You have to work 10 times harder than your grandfathers for women 10 times worse." Oh my God. Let me read that one more time. You have to work 10 times harder than your grandfathers for women 10 times worse. This is with no intent to degrade the modern woman, the modern empowered woman that's liberated and independent. But there's a lot of entitlement in this modern world from both men and women, the millennials and the post-millennials, the Gen Zers. There's a lot of entitlement because of many reasons. with women being liberated, a lot of times kids are being raised by grandparents or by nannies and stuff. Kids become latchkey kids. Plus, there are a lot more broken relationships. So sometimes kids get raised without a mother or father figure. Nowadays also you can't discipline your kids in the same ways you used to be able to discipline them when I was growing up by giving them a little spanking on the tushy with the stick or with the belt or something. If you even breathe wrong on a kid nowadays, you go to jail for child abuse. And it really sucks because not being able to teach your kids discipline is affecting them from, learning responsibility. Hence, they end up being entitled, right? So that's why I feel the title here is you have to work 10 times harder than your grandfathers, for women 10 times worse. So let me read this and go over a few comments and share with you my thoughts. And AZ Prod, I know you're not here right now, but I know you're going to catch it on the replay, and I know you love these dating stories. So I dedicate this show to you, brother. Everyone else, I love you all, but AZ Prod, you are probably out there driving for DoorDash and Uber Eats right now. And I know these stories keep you company and you can relate to them. So God bless you, brother, and hope you're having a wonderful day. All right. Let's see. Does this statement hold true? I've seen this being thrown around whenever somebody wants to summarize the current dating scene. Oh, I understand why you're saying it, man. I mean, if you look at it, dating apps overwhelm women with an abundance of options. They do. They do. You know why? Who causes that? The thirsty beta males, the simps, the suckers idolizing mediocre punani, right? Okay. These guys have no self-love, no self-respect. They're very weak men. They're not behaving in masculine ways. They're very submissive. And so they pedestalize all women. And what this does is overly inflates the value of every single woman. So when guys are doing that, when the majority of men are doing that, what happens is 80% of the women now want 20% of the men because, the other 80% of men out there are just lacking masculinity that women are attracted to, right? So that's what gives women a ton of options. And men, you only have yourselves to blame for this, right? Beauty standards for men have never been this high. Whereas for women, pointing out that she's obese is fat shaming. Well, yes, it is. But here is the thing. Even women that are obese, are finding true love because men nowadays lack so much masculinity that the women they really want are turning them down. And so they have to lower their standards to even have a chance, right? But the funny thing is, even the obese women are not respecting these men. So, even the obese women, they want a man that's a man, right? Do you think in the 1900s your grandpa cared if her husband was 6 feet plus and had a six-pack with a sharp jawline? Well, that's because back in those days, women were dependent on a man for survival, okay? They weren't working. And if they didn't get married and have someone to protect and provide for them, they wouldn't survive. But now women are liberated and they're independent and they're in many cases making more money than men. So nowadays you got to be even, more on your game, about being a good, strong man, being masculine, but also being well balanced too. You need to be masculine and be strong, but not be a jerk, right? And you can't be afraid to, call a woman out if she's wrong. Like nowadays, women get away with everything because, men feel like if they call a woman out that they're not going to have a shot with her. Well, it's quite the opposite. When you call a woman out, that actually turns her on because it shows her that you have balls and you're not going to put up with BS and you're willing to walk away because that's not what you want. So I'm trying to teach men to understand that. So that's the issue, right? I'm not saying you can't get into a relationship if you don't meet these standards, but it is no doubt that beauty standards for men these days have inflated. I actually think it's the opposite way around. I think women are even more into physical attraction now than ever before because they're independent. They're making their own money. They're not dependent on a man for survival. So now women, are looking for a well-balanced man all around, physically attractive, successful financially, emotionally stable, and, mentally sound and competent. I mean, what's wrong with that? Isn't that what you want from a woman? So why wouldn't a woman want that from you in return? So you guys only have yourselves to blame based on the way you're showing up. And a lot of it has to do with what I was mentioning a bit ago, lack of parenting, broken households, not having a good enough father figure or mother figure to raise you right. Okay. So you have to fend for yourself and try to figure things out. And so I understand why this generation is struggling with dating more than ever before. Let's continue. Back in the day, marriage was more of a safety blanket to help women get by. That wasn't the purpose of marriage. See, you're wrong about that. Okay. It just so happened to be that women were not working. They could not work. They didn't want to work. Women were happy to be the nurturer, the caregiver. Women wanted to raise the kids. They wanted to cook. They wanted to clean. That was their purpose. Now, what happened was, women started to, realize that, hey, you know what? We now want to start working. And women, when the men went to war, women, were forced to step in and work. And when they got a taste of what it felt like to work and create their own success, then they started fighting for that to be a permanent thing. And guess what happened? Look where we're at nowadays, right? Okay. That doesn't mean that, it should be any more difficult to get a woman. You just have to be, on your A game. And men back in those days were on their A game, right? Women back in those days were also still seeking, a strong man that could protect and provide, right? Yes, women were a lot more willing to sacrifice a bit on physical attractiveness back then, as long as the man was, making good money, was able to provide and protect. But nowadays, yeah, you got to have the looks too. And what's wrong with that? You guys want the looks, so why shouldn't women have the looks too, right? Just work on yourself, lose weight, groom yourself, buy better clothing, shower, shave, show up in the same ways you want the woman to show up, right? Okay. So in a way, they had to be more loyal to their man. That's not to say your grandpa hates your grandpa. Sorry, that's not to say your grandma hates your grandpa, but they learned to love each other. I wouldn't go as far and say they learned to love each other. You're making it sound like there were a lot more arranged marriages, and maybe in some cultures there were, but that wasn't the case for everyone, okay? Women, still had to attract that man. But women also knew that if they didn't find a man by a certain age, they probably wouldn't survive, right? So they were a little less picky physically because of that. But now in the modern world, both men and women are working. It's a fair game. The thing is, now men have to actually work a little harder, and they don't like that, right? Well, women always had to work hard to attract that man. So why can't we do it nowadays, right? You see men these days saying they're glad that they found their wives prior to this mess of a dating scene. That's an excuse, dude. That's an excuse for you to not show up being the best version of yourself. Again, if you take care of yourself, if you eat healthy, if you exercise, you stay in shape, you groom yourself, you wear nice clothing, you shower regularly, you wear deodorant, you wear cologne, you have a decent job, you're able to afford your lifestyle, you're able to have a decent car, and you have some decent manners, and you have self-respect and self-love, you'll get a woman. What you're saying is that you want to be able to get a woman showing up looking like trash and being a broke-ass loser. Right? Come on. Yes, it was a lot easier back in those days because of what I mentioned. But it wasn't much more easier than it is today. Yes, it was a little bit more easier. But nowadays, it shouldn't matter. You become the best version of yourself you can be. You show up being the best version of yourself, and you will find a good woman. You may have to go through a few more bad seasons than you would have back then, but you'll eventually find the right person, like I did with my girlfriend, Dawn. Let's read some comments here. Silly Sheila says, I don't care if my partner has a 6-pack or is 6 feet tall, and I was able to find a pretty attractive partner still that I'm sexually attracted to. I really don't think this is a crazy out there standard. No, I agree with her. Men still had beauty standards in the 30s and 40s. They did. Men took better care of themselves back in those days than they do now. Men right now, I'm telling you, the millennial men and the Gen Z men, not all of them, but the majority of them, they all look like they're like how do I say this? A scruffy version of Jesus with a Jesus beard. These guys don't groom themselves. They don't shower. They wear secondhand clothing, right? And part of the issue is the jobs they work, let them wear whatever they want as long as they get their job done. Like in the high-tech industry out here in the Bay Area, a lot of these men, they're very smart. They make good money. They're great programmers, and these companies need them, so that they let them get away with, coming to work looking trashy, right? And so these men then go home to their wives or girlfriends looking trashy, and it's not cool. Or if they're single, they go on a date looking that way, and they wonder why they can't get a woman. Come on. So yeah, men still have beauty standards in the 30s and 40s. My grandfather worked out and ran and kept a strict, healthy diet. That's exactly what I was saying. He was always fit and thin and enjoyed carrying on his health regimen from the military even after he served. Yeah, absolutely. Not to mention, as a gentleman, you were expected to dress in a formal fashion and wear a hat. Yes, I have a bald head, and I love my bald head, but I also love my hats, like the men of the 30s and 40s. Wonderful, right? Let's see. No hoodies, t-shirts, etc. Right. That's what these guys wear. They wear hoodies. They wear t-shirts. They have these Jesus goat beards that go down to the ground. I'm 50 years old. And I'm not trying to say I'm all that, but I look better than most guys in their 30s and 40s. And they look older than me. I'm 50 years old. And yes, I trim my beard. And yes, I use Just for Men. But let's go back to full screen. I use Just for Men, but I care about myself, right? I'll tell you this right now. Oh, Donna, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Glad to see you here. It's morning in your neck of the woods. I'm back live. You got to go back and check out the first part of the show. You can't do it now because I have the DVR disabled. The rewind's disabled on the live streams. But Donna says, if my husband calls me out, I'm likely to call him out back. Well, that's good. That's cool. But you talk things out like respectful, mature adults, right? Donna says, cooking and cleaning wasn't every woman's purpose. It was imposed on them. Relationships are much more equal now. They have to be society has evolved economically and culturally. No, I understand that. I agree with you on that. And like Dawn and I, we share in the household responsibilities equally. We both cook, clean, do laundry, dishes, etc., right? Vacuum, sweep, etc., right? What I was saying is back in those days, that's women had no problem doing that because they enjoyed that role. That's the purpose that, was meant for women to have by a higher power, I believe, to be God, and the purpose of men was to protect and provide. And the purpose for women was to take care of the household and be the nurturing one. No disrespect. I'm happy we've evolved to the world we're at today, but that's how it was back then, respectfully speaking. But great to see you here, Donna. Nice to see you here. Let's see. Many men were fit in those days. More did labor jobs than most volunteered for the military, which had very strict fitness policy. So they had to maintain a workout regimen to be fit for the military. Most people also just weren't fat because they really couldn't be. There's so many obese people in this world nowadays. Yeah, a lot of these guys in the high-tech industry here are not only dressing like crap, they're overweight. They don't shower. They smell. Their hair is all greasy, right? And they wonder why they can't attract women. You got to take care of yourself. You really do, right? My grandparents lived on modest amounts of food that was mostly natural foods and walked for hours each day. It is incredibly difficult to become overweight when that's your day to day. Yeah, because you're practically working out at your job like 8 to 10 hours a day, right? There wasn't widespread chocolate bars, chips, etc. for the most part. That's true. All the processed foods we have nowadays isn't helping the cause, right? You're right. Having dinner out was a huge occasion. Yeah, we eat out all the time now, right? Fruit was considered really sweet and a dessert. A lot of people ate from their garden. My grandparents, on my father's side, um, when they were around, and before my aunt now, got their house as part of her estate, because my aunt's house is right next door to my grandparents, where my grandparents' house used to be. And she's not renting it out, and she basically expanded the home. But before she expanded the home, there was a big backyard, which was a huge garden. And I will tell you this: before we even knew the word organic on this planet, now the last 10 to 15 years, that word organic is like, oh, that's like the best stuff. Yeah. Well, my grandparents, everything was organic. They had cucumbers, tomatoes, olives, grapes, like their backyard literally was like a farm. And we had peas and everything, right? We had the best freaking meals all the time, holidays and other times. It was just amazing. So yeah, a lot of the issues nowadays is all this processed stuff that we eat because we're so caught up with work and stuff. We have a hard time balancing our work and personal life. We don't cook anymore. We don't eat healthy anymore, right? So you got to take that into consideration. Your health's important. Women are going to also look at you and say, look, if you're overweight, it's not just the fact that you're overweight that's going to turn them off. It's the fact that you're going to die younger. You're not healthy. Besides the lack of physical attraction, right? Another thing is my grandmother probably would have broken up with my grandfather or been angry with him if he suggested that she should support him financially or go 50-50 in terms of money. I don't think she would have done that, but that wasn't the choice back then. So you're talking about a time where that wasn't an option or a known thing for men or women. Back then, things were just the way they were. Men were the providers and protectors, and women were the nurturers and caretakers. That's it. End of story. No disrespect to men or women, but that wasn't an option back then, right? Even if she loved him, that was just the era they were from. Right. That's how it was. That was normal. But I have financially supported my husband at times and split bills with him most of the time. That couldn't be expected of your grandmother. Well, today, both men and women are making money, right? Now, with my girlfriend, Dawn, she has her money and I have mine. But I'll be honest with you. Like, I love the fact that she has her own money and she's independent and doing her own thing, right? But I still like to take care of her as best as possible because I'm old school. And she likes that about me, but she also always tells me, I just don't want you to feel I'm taking advantage of you. I really want to do my part. I said, baby, if I thought you were taking advantage of me, I wouldn't do shit for you. I love you, right? But yeah, a good man nowadays is going to accept his woman, is going to be okay with her making money and doing her part. But at the same time, I feel a good man is still going to have a few old school values that he's going to want to also, take care of his woman too, right? Like, I take care of my woman, but I also don't stop her from doing her own thing or making her own money or anything like that, right? Let me see here. Donna says, yes, missed the first half, 9:30 on Sunday here. I'll catch up. Yeah, it was on Vanessa Lau. And if you're watching on your phone, you're going to want to tilt the landscape and read on the screen. There's a lot of interesting stuff I talked about, but thank you, Donna. I appreciate you being here. Let's see here. They think men were lazy back in the day. No, nobody's saying men were lazy back in the day. Men had to go out and hunt and bring back something for the woman to cook, or the family wouldn't survive. There wasn't a safe way to go buy, meat that was, chopped up by a butcher after some rancher, uh, you know, uh, slaughtered the cow or whatever other animal. I mean, now it's all done for you. Back then, men had to do that. Men had to go out there and hunt and kill the animals and bring them back home and skin them up, and the wife would help, cook it, right? Hell, you think men were lazy back then? No, men back then were way, well, you're saying they think men were lazy, but you're saying that they weren't. I get it. It is true. The rise of obesity is almost entirely a function of processed foods. Yeah, I was saying the same thing. And sugar-added beverages starting in the 60s and 70s and steadily increasing in popularity from there. Drink diet soda. I know a lot of people say diet soda is bad because of aspartame and it has a lot of sodium and stuff in it. But honestly, I've been drinking diet soda for the last 20 years, and I'll tell you this: it has really helped me stay in decent shape. My weight would fluctuate a lot more before my 30s because I would drink regular soda. Soda, you can drink it easily and quickly, and you're drinking a lot of empty calories there, from the sugar. So let me read one more here, and then we're going to the next one. This username is named No Dana Only Zooey or whatever. No pill. That analogy is as relevant as we had to walk to school uphill both ways. When no-fault divorce became legal, there was an 8 to 16% drop in women committing suicide, a 30% drop in intimate partner violence, and a 10% drop in women being murdered by their husbands. Our grandparents were not the shining examples of marital bliss we like to think they were. I don't think your stats are really accurate there. Okay? I mean, there have always been issues in marriages throughout any era, but back in those days, there was far less divorce than there is now. The divorce rate back in those days was 10 to 20%. The divorce rate nowadays is 50 to 60% globally, including here in the U.S. So, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've read a lot of articles, talked with a lot of people, been on a lot of panels on YouTube, and let me tell you, your information here is not accurate. So let's go to the next one here. All right. This is from the subreddit r relationships_advice. And the original poster. Oh, did I not switch over to the browser screen? I'm so sorry. I didn't switch over to the browser screen. Oh my God. I didn't switch back after I was showing my beard. I'm sorry. Let's go back there. Okay. So again, this is from the subreddit relationships_advice, and the original poster's title is "Please Tell Me It's Gonna Work Out. Dating and Marriage." All right. I broke up with my fiance of 6 years, and I'm moving out of our house tomorrow to go back and live with my parents. Sounds like a joyous occasion. He didn't do anything wrong per se. Okay. But it was just a loveless relationship. No sex. He prioritized sports and hobbies over me. A lot of men do that. A lot of men prioritize work, sports, hanging out with the guys, and all that. I planned and took care of everything house and pet related. So you kept the house clean, you cooked, you cleaned, okay? You took care of the pets, you took them out to shit, piss, you fed them, you gave them water, right? I do a lot of that. Like Don and I shared that. We both do it, but I do at least half the work. And since my woman has been recovering from a broken ankle, and she still does things, but I basically get up and tell her, no, I'm going to do it, babe. And I do the majority of it. And once she gets fully healed, we're going to be sharing it 50-50 again. And I just wasn't feeling in love anymore. Well, you feel burnt out. You feel like you're more of a roommate than a lover, right? My feelings died, and so did my attraction. I'm not surprised. Like, I love these stories. I'll tell you this. Ever since I started following Coach Corey Wayne about 6 years ago, maybe almost 7 years ago, before I started my coaching business out here on YouTube, he was sharing stories like this. And he was right. And now I can read these stories, and I completely understand where the woman's coming from, right? And so it's also helped me out in what it takes to maintain a relationship. That's why I've been with Dog 2.5 years, and we're still going strong, right? But I'm scared and worried. I'm 26 female, and I thought I had my life figured out until just now. Well, maybe you did. You're just with the wrong guy that stopped dating and courting you, right? Okay. So this guy proposed marriage to you, and what he thinks now that you agreed to marriage, that he can stop dating and courting you and doing the things he did before he proposed, or doing the things that he would do for you and the both of you before you two moved in together. Like Coach Corey Wayne has always said, and I agree, the dating and courting process never ends with women. Okay? You got to hang out, have fun, hook up. Your job as a man is to spend time with your woman, go places with her, okay? Share in the household responsibilities, and find time to have a regular, healthy, and happy sex life. You don't have to do it all the time every day, but you got to do it regularly. You got to do it regularly, spontaneously, and if that doesn't happen, then you got issues, okay? It's only a matter of time for the woman slowly falls out of love and then is gone, right? I'm losing the house I helped buy, my cat, and a friendship I really do cherish. And I'm scared my life will never get better, or I'll never find someone who can give me what I want. Maybe I'm asking for too much. No, you're not. You're not asking for really anything besides what every relationship should have had or should have, right? I'm in desperate need of some reassurance, as the guilt and doubt is killing me. I think you're having a hard time letting go of the emotional attachment because you've been with him for 6 years and you're engaged. But obviously, he's not doing his part. So if he's not doing his part now, it's only going to get worse, right? What I think you should do, if you haven't done, is have a talk with him and say, you know what, babe? I'm just not happy with the way things are going. We're engaged, but I feel like we're more like roommates than lovers. Okay? We don't have any sex. You prioritize sports and hobbies with the guys over me. You don't do anything around the house. I feel like a slave, right? And if you don't see that and it doesn't turn around, I can't do this anymore. See what he says. And if he says, baby, you know what? I'll turn it around immediately. And then say, look, babe, I'm going to give it 1 month. And if I don't feel there's an improvement heading in the right direction, I gotta withdraw. See what he does. If it doesn't change in a month, move out. Do what you're doing. Maybe you already did that, and that's why you're now leaving. I don't blame you. Let's read a few comments here. It's going to work out. I got divorced at 27 and found an all-new social circle who has been with me for more than 20 years. My life has been full of love and adventure, neither of which I had when I was married. See, that's what happens. If you have been hanging around a social group, or you're with someone that's not working out, you got to part ways. Sometimes it's hard to do that. I've had to part ways with many groups of people, even a lot of people out here on YouTube. I had to part ways not because I didn't like these people, it's because what they enjoy doing on and off of YouTube is not in alignment with what I enjoy doing. And I had to part ways. Okay. It's the same thing with you folks. You can't continue to be a part of any circles of groups that are not aligned with what you believe in. It's not going to work for you. It's good response here. People are going to tell you to take time to heal and other largely unhelpful advice like drink plenty of water. Well, that's actually good advice, drink plenty of water, but I get what you're saying. My advice to you is don't wait to start living the life that you want. You don't need to wear black or cover the mirrors. You don't have to wait to be completely healed, whatever that means, before enjoying life. Put yourself back out there and find someone that better understands you, is more mature, is more experienced, is a happy person, and is willing to meet you halfway. Okay? Rather than lamenting what has ended, embrace what has just begun. Have you always wanted to go to Machu Picchu? Go. Is your friend taking a long weekend in New Orleans? Join them. You're young and single. Embrace it. Go watch some live music. Take a last-minute trip. Treat yourself. Have some laughs. Yeah, you're 27 years old. It's not the end of the world. But here's the thing. Like, if she wants to have kids, in 3 years, maybe less than 3 years, maybe she's almost 28. When she turns 30, that biological clock starts to tick. And at that point, it's going to be harder to attract a man around her age or a little older, because men in their early to mid 30s are attracting and getting women in their 20s, around 20 to 25 to 26 or so, because they want to have 2 or 3 kids, when the woman is most fertile. So there are less issues. There's less of a possibility of things going wrong, right? So she's at that point right now where she's about to hit 30 in about 2.5 years or so. And she's worried that she's not going to find someone that's going to want her at that age. And honestly, I don't blame her for it, but that doesn't mean she has to suffer in a loveless and sexless relationship where her man treats her like a slave and doesn't do shit around the house or anything, right? He's very, very selfish, right? One more. People encourage people to mourn because it is essential to healing. It's not useless and unhelpful advice at all. Mourning the loss of your long-term relationship doesn't have to take years, of course. You don't have to wear black and cover mirrors like people do in certain religious or cultural beliefs to mourn a death, but you do need to acknowledge it. The loss of your long-term relationship is a loss, and mourning is important. Yeah, it's going to hurt and sting for a little while. I mean, I'll tell you, 6 years, typically it takes about half the time of a relationship to completely get over it. But after 3 to 6 months of mourning, you should be good enough to put yourself out there. Some people, put themselves back out there right away. I think you should take a little time off for some self-reflection. Give it at least a month or 2 or 3 months. You're still not going to be fully ready, but you'll be more ready than the day after you leave, right? If you start putting yourself out there right away after you leave a relationship like that of 6 years, you're going to be basically rebounding, right? And you really don't want to go down that route. You don't need to cry shuffling around wearing Kleenex boxes for shoes to get over a breakup. There's nothing noble about your suffering. Okay, I see what you're saying. And then she says, the lady that says, not the original poster, this made me so happy, so hopeful to read. Thank you. Okay. Let me read these two because this is very important here. Sometimes taking time to heal means don't jump into a new relationship too soon. And that part I would agree with. Taking time to find yourself is important, but that should include going out and doing fun things. Like you said, and dating is not fun unless you just happen to meet someone while you are going out and doing fun things. Yeah, you're going to find the right person when you least expect them. I found Dawn when I least expected it, right? In my 40s, I stopped expecting finding the right person. I put myself out there to see what would happen. Yes, I went through a lot of bad dates, and yes, it was frustrating, and it did waste some time. But that's part of the thing. That's part of the game, right? But I never would go into meeting someone with the expectation of something. I would go and see what would happen. I would talk with the lady by phone first. I would, meeting them off of these dating apps like I did with Dawn, and I would get a feel of what they're all about. And I wouldn't just meet anyone. And I would tell them, hey, I'd like to see where things go, but this is my intentions are to hopefully find someone that I can spend time with, get to know, and if it leads to something more, down the road, I'm totally open to that. But you know what? I'm in no hurry. I would like to meet as soon as possible to see if there's chemistry. But hey, if we meet and we click, let's just see where it goes. That's all, right? The next person, Kolob 619, agreed. I've done the extended relationship wake and the going places, doing things, post breakup extravaganza. I recommend the latter. So go out there and just have a good time. Just go out there and hang out and see what happens. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's go to the last one here. All right. 1:55 a.m. Pacific, 4:55 a.m. Eastern. We are at 2 hours and 14 minutes. Got 12 people here. Please smash a thumbs up and share this out. Thank you for being here. 15 people here now. Thank you. This final dating story is from the subreddit r/dating over 30. And this is one of my favorite ones. The original poster's title is Masculine and Feminine Energy in Modern Dating. Wow. One of my favorite topics, right? Posted in the daily thread, but this feels like a good, broad discussion. Had a super interesting chat on my date yesterday. He was in a self-reflection, self-discovery phase. Ooh, he was finding himself. And one of his self-discoveries was around feminine energy. Interesting. So he was talking with you about this on a date, saying that he was in a self-discovery phase, meaning that he was still finding himself. And women, they're not typically attracted to men that are still trying to find themselves. Women are attracted to men that have their shit together, that have already gone through this. But it was interesting to her, so let's see what happens here, right? Let's see what happens. One of the topics we touched on a bit was that some folks perceive them as queer due to higher levels of feminine energy than is typical for the whole Western male masculinity definition. That's horrible. I'm sorry for my lack of professionalism there. First of all, it doesn't make a man any less of a man for him to have emotions and feelings, but it all depends on how far he takes it, right? It's okay even for a man to cry at times, but if a man's going to cry all day, every day, that's feminine energy, right? Okay, if a man, wants to talk about some emotional things, that's okay, as long as he talks about them and gets right back to, doing what his purpose is, right? And then we talked a bit about gender roles in dating. Interesting. One of my favorite topics. And it got me thinking, for people who date men, how does your perception of men with obvious feminine energy shape your perception and attraction? Women are not attracted to men that behave like women. I've said this time and time again. I'll continue to say it. Even learning from Coach Corey Wayne, even learning from Coach Corey Wayne years ago. Women are not attracted to feminine energy. Okay? Women, are already feminine. They don't need a second female partner if they want a heterosexual relationship. Now, if you're in, gay and lesbian relationships, then that's a different story. But even in those relationships, there's always masculine and feminine energy. There's always one that's the more masculine one and one that's the more feminine one that's more dominant and one that's more submissive. There has to be that sexual polarity in any type of orientation, okay? Or it won't work out, okay? And for people who date women, how does your perception of masculine energy in women shape your preferences and attraction? Well, we don't like it. strong men that are masculine like myself, I don't like it when women behave masculine, right? Like, I love my woman, Dawn, and for the most part, she is the most beautiful, feminine type of woman, feminine energy. But she has those moments, like any woman does nowadays, where she wants to be like totally in control and wants to, do things that were once known as only things that men would do. And while I don't have a problem with her doing it, it's just for me, I just don't like it when women exude masculine energy. I just, my Lady and I are equal and I love her, but I'm most attracted to her when she's sweet and innocent and kind and nurturing and loving. Like, men do not like women behaving more masculine in the same ways that women do not like men behaving more feminine. It works both ways. And if you have a man that's behaving feminine and you are a woman that's behaving masculine, that relationship won't work out because the sexual polarity is flipped. It just won't work. You don't believe me? Try it out and see what happens. It won't work. There's going to be no sexual attraction, no sexual charge. And for everyone, if your balanced expression of masculine and feminine energy don't match typical gender expectations, how does this shape your dating? It doesn't work. It won't work. Plain and simple, it doesn't work. It's not going to work, right? Now, I've seen many cases where there are some men that are behaving more feminine than masculine that are dating women that are behaving more masculine than feminine. And while it may seem to work out for a little while because the woman is like, oh, I'm in control here, I'm wearing the pants and, blah, 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 eventually that woman will get tired of that because there's not a woman on the planet that respects any man that doesn't behave more masculine than feminine. Now, we both have masculine and feminine energy. Men and women both have masculine and feminine energy, but like Coach Corey Wayne said in the past, and I'll say it again, okay? Men and women both need to be in their natural biological essence of being masculine and feminine, okay, 70 to 80% of the time, okay? The other 20 to 30% of the time, it's okay for a man to be in his feminine and okay for a woman to be in her masculine. But if a man is in his feminine more than 30% of the time, or if a woman is in her masculine more than 30% of the time, the polarity will not work out. Okay? That's just how attraction works. Don't ask me why. It's just how it works. And I've experienced it. Okay? And let me tell you something. It just doesn't work. It's just a big turnoff when I've talked to women in the past that wanted to date me that were behaving masculine like 50% of the time. And that was just way too much. It was a big turnoff to me. So I would just say, okay, nice talking to you. Next. That's all. Let me see here. Let me read one comment here and a couple comments, and I'm going to go off the air. 2 comments. Okay. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, get them in the chat right now. We'll be going off the air in about maybe 5 to 10 minutes. We're at 2 hours and 22 minutes. Got 15 people here still and 3 thumbs up. Lady Ranicom says, everyone has some degree of masculine and feminine energy. There's virtually no such thing as 100% masculine or 100% feminine. Yeah, I just said it. But you have to be in your natural biological essence the majority of the time, or the sexual polarity will not work for both sides. That said, I, 31 female, lean feminine, and I prefer men who lean masculine. Could have said it better myself. And I've found that polarity is important in my own relationships and from observing others. I've been saying the same thing all along. I agree. So if I say 75% feminine and 25% masculine, okay, that's less than 30% of masculine. That works. See, this is a woman that would work for me because she's in her feminine 75% of the time. Good. I tend to do well with men who are roughly on the inverse. Same thing on the flip side, at least 75% masculine. But she still wants the man to have moments of him being in touch with his emotions. But then she wants him to go back to being that protector and provider, right? That strong man, right? But that strong man with the sensitive side at times, right? I want to add, there's no real way to qualify this, and this purely for illustrative purposes. You just qualified it. Coach Corey Wayne qualified it years ago. I'm qualifying it. You're spot on. I agree. I'm going to give you a big round of applause. That's the first time I felt the need to give a round of applause tonight. Like I didn't even give a round of applause to any part of the Vanessa Lau segment, and I haven't given a round of applause to any other of the dating stories. But that, you hit the nail on the head. This woman hit the nail on the head. One thing I've found frustrating is that I've dated a few men who say they want a feminine woman, but then don't seem to actually value femininity. Maybe you're just not the right woman for them, or maybe they're just a very arrogant and cocky man. It's just the wrong man. The right man that's well balanced, okay, will be able to value your femininity and respect you, right? The reason why my girlfriend Donna and I work is we have mutual respect for each other. No matter what happens on any given day, we have respect for each other. If you don't have respect for each other, there's nothing there. You're done. But a man can't respect a woman that's more masculine than feminine, and a woman can't respect a man that's more feminine than masculine. That's just a biological fact. So Yeti Mandel is responding to a comment above saying, one thing I've found frustrating is that I've dated a few men who say they want a feminine woman, but then don't seem to actually value femininity. And then this person responds, both femininity and masculinity have their positives and negatives. When people say they want one of those, they often only mean the positive side. No. Listen, men need to be more masculine and women need to be more feminine. But both men and women have the opposite characteristics. It's just minimal compared to their actual characteristic of being masculine or feminine. That's all it is. I believe you because experience this from the opposite side as well. For example, I used to be rather agreeable, shy away from conflict, and avoided making decisions. And for that, I often got backlash from women. That's because you were being a sissy. You were agreeing with her because you thought that would calm her down and make her love you more because you agree with her. Women don't want you to agree with them. They want you to be honest with them. Okay? If you actually agree with them, then agree with them and say, you know what? I agree with you, babe. But I'm not agreeing with you just to agree with you. I'm agreeing with you because you're right. And right is right and wrong is wrong. I tell Dawn, look, babe, I love you and you're a smart woman and I agree with you because you're right. Not because I want to agree with you, because you're right. Right? Now, there are times I disagree with her and I'll tell her. I say, babe, I don't agree with you. I say, I understand where you're coming from. You're entitled to your opinion. I love you. But I disagree with you. Here's why. Okay? A lot of men are sissies nowadays. It's feminine energy to agree with a woman for the sake of just agreeing with her to get her off your back. Women will lose all respect for you when you agree with them on something they know you don't really want to agree with them on. And that's called a shit test. And if you fail too many shit tests, you're out the door because they won't be able to respect you. If a woman can toy your strings around for too long, then you're out the door. Nowadays, that I am more assertive, I made the experience that some women like decisions being made for them. It's not that they like decisions being made for them. It's the fact that you're standing up for yourself and you're being a man and you're not letting her control your reactions. You're being yourself. You're not pretending to be something, you think she wants you to be to keep her around instead, right? But only if they are unimportant decisions or if I happen to have the same opinion. If I assert my opinion against her, she does not like that at all. No woman likes that, but they respect it. You got to understand, a lot of things that women don't like that you say, it's because they know you're being truthful, right? And they're emotional beings. While they may not like what you're saying, they respect you for being honest, and that's more important to them, right? Basically, be assertive, but only against others. Make the decisions, but only the ones I like. No, dude, you got to be the same person you were before you met her while you're with her. You don't change who you are to keep a woman around. If you try to do that, women pick up on that, and they'll call you out. They'll shit test you a few times, and if you fail, keep going down that route, they'll lose respect for you, and then you're out the door. And that's it. That's going to wrap up this show. I am done. Wow, 2 hours and 29 minutes. One of the longest shows I've done in a while. Let's go back to full screen here. Except for one part that I was on the main screen while I was reading the first posting. The show was pretty good, pretty well done. I'm pretty proud of it. I hope you enjoyed it. Dawn and I will be going live tomorrow at some point on a members-only live chat. Make sure you get your members-only package at $4.99 if you want to join the members-only live streams. These are members-only live chats here and publicly available. The shows I do on my own, the ones I do with Dawn, are members-only live streams, and you will need the $4.99 package to access those. Depending on the weather tomorrow, I'll check the weather report tomorrow. If there's a gap for me to walk in the early afternoon, I'm going to do a walk, and then Dawn and I will do a show in the evening. And unfortunately, that's going to be the time you go to bed, Donna. But if it is going to rain, then we will do a show earlier, and you'll probably be able to make that live. If not, you can catch the replay. So keep an eye out here on the community wall of Coach Eli 2. Keep an eye on the homepage. You'll see me post the event at some point tomorrow. So probably a couple more pieces of content coming. Well, later today. It's actually Sunday already, Sunday, January 21st. It's after midnight. It is 5:12 a.m. Eastern, 2:12 a.m. Pacific. So until tomorrow, thank you to everyone for being here. Have a good one. Take care. And as always, be good to each other.